There's a theory that this image was actually a naturally occurring dust devil, and that their flashlights of the people walking through reflected of this dust devil coming through. So what we've got is this dolly track used in motion pictures. Then our dolly is going to be a high-powered fan.
Let's get it on the tracks.
Let it be known that Austin still plays with dollies.
Till the day I die. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put Fuller's Earth underneath the actual track.
And Jael will be pulling it along. And as it goes over it, I'll be back here filming. And hopefully we'll get it to suck up enough of this very fine dirt with the reflected light. And when it passes through, we'll see the same thing that we saw in the video.
Looks good. Let's power up the fan.
Hey, Austin, kill the lights.
Got it.
Camera's rolling. Fan is ready. Okay, go ahead, JL.
We're gonna put Fuller's Earth underneath the actual track.
Hopefully, we'll see the same thing that we saw in the video. Kill the lights. Camera's rolling.
Let's power up the fan.
Okay, go ahead, JL. Nice.
How'd it look?
The whole kind of plume lingered in the air quite a bit. The video, when it comes by, it appears and then it disappears. This stuff is taking a long time to settle back down. That much dust up in the air, you're gonna see some reaction from the person as well. Anyone who's walking along, you would think your natural reaction is to kind of shield your eyes or kind of move to the side like that.
Right.
I just don't think that it could have occurred here in the first place. And secondly, if it were an actual dust devil, you would expect the trees to react, maybe the clothes on the person. That's a lot of wind that's coming by, and I just didn't see that.
I think it's pretty safe to say that this was not a dust devil, man-made or natural.
We can't completely dismiss that this could be a hoax. One of the best ways that we could try to replicate this is by building a curtain of water vapor.
All right, let's see if we can get this balanced up here, and then we'll tie it down.
Okay. You really can't see water vapor in the air unless some type of light is projected onto it. That possibly could explain what happened in the video, because you're not seeing it there until this light passes through.
What we've got here is a high-pressure water pump that we've connected to a water source out on the street.
We have PVC pipe, and we're gonna push water through the PVC pipe, and water's gonna come out the misting nozzles.
Connected to these misters on the top, we've got some leaf blowers, which will help push the water down and make it to a solid curtain.
We remembered something that Caroline had told us. She believed that what she saw in the video was a person. It was not a train. Austin is an athletic guy. We thought that he would be able to run as fast as we needed him to run through that mist and try and create the effect that we were looking for.
It's really important that you get far enough back and get enough speed so that when you pass Jael and myself that you're clipping. Got you all framed up. I'm rolling. Okay, Austin, power up your light. Go. Wow. You know what happened is when it came out of focus, it looked pretty good.
What did the light look like as it was passing?
Kind of like a orb, and kind of like a blob, you know, that we were holding at waist level.
I'm still not quite sure that on the video it's gonna look as transparent as whatever object Caroline captured. I say we break out our IR cameras and see what other kind of explanation we can find that's actually paranormal.
Let's wire it up, huh?
Let's go.
Our attempts to recreate the Phantom as an elaborate hoax or a natural occurrence weren't entirely convincing. So now it's time to look at a paranormal investigation. We're going to start by setting up our 4 infrared cameras and doing a sweep of the cemetery to find out what's really happening here. How's it looking?
It's looking great. We got them all set up, recording.
So number 1 is where Caroline videotaped the event. Number 2 is that gate that's inside the cemetery. Number 3 is down in the ravine. And number 4 is over James' grave.
Ready to get spooked?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go.
Look at this one. Zebulon Hartman, 1807, 1843.
Guys, camera 3 just completely went dead. Screen 3 just went completely blank. It's out.
My walkie's going out as well. What happened?
Something is really strange. I try not to blow things out of proportion, but when I'm walking around, I'm hearing little bits of like leaves, like moving. We've been out here a while now, and I can't help but feel that somebody has been walking beside us ever since we started our first sweep. I'm hearing leaves rustling on the ground when there's no wind, and it kind of seems like they're footsteps. And it sounds as if somebody is keeping pace with us with their footsteps.
Maybe we should look for any leaves that move from those footsteps you've been hearing.
You see that?
What is that? Just move.
I can't help but feel that somebody has been walking beside us ever since we started our first sweep.
What is that? Did those leaves just move?
That's really, really strange. We have to try and see if we can capture it on your camera.
So I'm going to zoom in pretty good, and we're just going to crouch down, okay, as low as we can. Now you focus wherever you focus that light. I'm going to try to follow. Be really careful here. This is pretty steep.
Didn't happen that time.
Yeah.
It's like I turned my light on and now it's not happening.
That was really strange. It may have been an insect. I'm thinking the only real possible explanation is that it was, some type of insect that's moving underneath the undergrowth here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go over to James Payne's grave site. Is it possible that the ghostly figure that was captured on Caroline's video is James Payne? We're going to do an EVP session and see if he's trying to communicate with us. The night vision camera is close enough, we'll be able to detect if any individual leaf moves. We've got our EVP audio recorder right here. We're going to sit down. Let's do a session.
Ready, guys?
James, was it you who was in the video that we were investigating tonight?
James, Ben and I had some odd experiences tonight here in the cemetery. We felt that someone led us to your gravesite. Was that you? We saw footsteps, or what looked like them. Was that you?
How are you? Still frozen from Colorado?
It was chilly.
You battled some extreme temperatures there.
Yeah.
First of all, I'd like to tell you a little bit about Indiana and what happened with us. So our first experiment with the ATV, we couldn't replicate the transparency. So we moved on, and we tried creating our own dust devil, and this is what happened. You see that we're creating a lot of wind and leaves and things are moving. Now, in the original, you didn't see any of that. The final experiment that we tried is creating a mist screen. Our cameras were focused on the light that was coming through, and the rest of it just didn't quite look right. But what we decided to do at this point is to do an EVP session at the gravesite. In this soundbite, you'll hear Austin talking, and you'll hear Austin cough. Now, what came after that was not any of us.
And once we settled, go ahead and kill the flashlight.
Did you guys all hear that?
Cough. He coughs, and you hear cough.
You hear a voice repeat cough,
yes,
and then you hear a deep sigh after.
And once we're settled, go ahead and kill the flashlight.
So eerie.
I know, that's weird.
And once we're settled, go ahead and kill the flashlight.
That is cool.
It's very strange. Some very strange things were happening that night. What do you think of our efforts in replicating it?
I don't think you were able to exactly replicate the videos, but you were still able to obtain good evidence of the paranormal.
The efforts were great in the experiments, but I think that this video is a fact. We did not debunk the video.
Hey, just like I originally said, perfect setting for a ghost story.
I agree. I think this could very well be a paranormal case. We weren't able to replicate the video. I think that there is something still unexplained in the cemetery of Indiana. So that was Indiana. What happened in Colorado?
Well, if you remember the news segment that Chilan brought us about the 4 cattle mutilations in San Luis, Colorado, we had compelling video and a seemingly credible witness. Here's what happened.
San Luis Valley is the largest alpine valley in the world.
So this area was founded as a cattle ranching community. It still is a cattle ranching community, and they've been having these loss of their livestock now for a number of years.
The rancher actually reported seeing some unexplained lights in the sky right before all these cattle mutilations happened.
Interesting. That brings in maybe extraterrestrial possibilities. Maybe it is actually a UFO.
Chuck Zukowski is the ufologist, and he's going to be meeting us on the outskirts of town. Chuck was there on the scene when the cattle were found. It was still there. He took those photos. He's the one that's been studying cattle mutilations and UFOs. So he's a very, very important person here. Hey, Chuck.
Bill Murphy.
How's it going, Chuck Zukowski?
Yeah, nice to meet you. Well, we got a pretty interesting case here. I'm glad you could come out for this. You know, the ranch is just down the street a little bit. I can show you. I take you down there. I'll be heading off in that direction.
Okay.
All right?
Follow you.
Perfect.
Mr. Sanchez, I'm Larry. Good to meet you.
Mr. Sanchez, I'm Chilan. Nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Bill.
I guess our first question would be, how did you happen to stumble upon these cows that were mutilated?
I just came and check on my cows. Happened to find those 2.
Daniel, can you show us where it happened?
Yes. Follow me.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, this is the area right here where the calf was found.
Where did you find the carcass when you first arrived on the scene?
It was actually laying right here underneath the tree. And that's the first thing we looked at to see whether or not it was dropped. It was almost as if someone laid it here.
Both of you guys saw this calf and the carcass. What do you think caused it? I mean, were there certain incisions? Were they surgical? Was it clean? Was there any blood, any fur, any tracks around?
So when you just see an animal laying there completely void of its internal organs, gutted out, and there's no other debris anywhere around on the ground, no blood markings on the hide, then you're going, this doesn't look like a known predator kill. This falls into an unknown death.
So when did you last see these calves alive?
The day before. I usually come pretty often to check on the cows.
Previous to this morning of walking upon this cow, had you seen anything out of the ordinary?
Well, in August, I saw some lights over there in the other place. He come out of the mountains.
Really? What do you mean he comes out of the mountains?
Like seeing that hill there, I could see.